Welcome to a video presentation of Chapter 5, Section 6 in McDougal Littell's 8th grade textbook entitled Adding and Subtracting Decimals. You can see on the left side of the board I've described the procedure not for adding and subtracting decimals, just for adding and subtracting. Those rules work for everything when it comes to adding and subtracting, whether we're working with fractions, whether we're working with decimals, whether we're working with just integers, whatever, they all work. So, as you can see, step 1 says to change subtraction into adding the opposite. Now that's something we've periodically done when we see there's a need. There is a need today to do that because it's impossible for us to generate rules if we're adding a positive, adding a negative, subtracting a positive, subtracting a negative. It just doesn't work. So your first step is going to be in any problem with a subtraction, change it into adding the opposite. Remember, when I say adding the opposite, it means the subtraction becomes addition, and the problem after it changes its sign. All right. From there, you have two different routes to take, depending on how the problem now looks. Okay? You could have problems with the same sign throughout. When I say same sign, that means a positive plus a positive, or a negative plus a negative. Either one, the rules are the same. So if you're dealing with the same sign, step 2 says to add the numbers, ignoring the signs. Add the numbers, ignoring the signs. So if they're both negative, you throw out the negatives and you just add them up. Step 3, apply the signs of the problem to the result. Apply the signs of the problem to the result. So if they were both a positive in the modified problem, then the answer's got to be positive. If they're both negative, then the answer's got to be negative. All right. Now, we could also have a different sign problem. Different sign means the first number's positive, the second number's negative, or flip it around, the first number's negative, second number's positive. If you get yourself into that situation, you have to subtract the numbers, high number minus the low number, when we ignore the signs. Subtract the numbers, high number minus the low number, when we ignore the signs. And step 3, apply the sign of the number with the largest absolute value to the result. Apply the sign of the number with the largest absolute value to the result. Remember, absolute value is the number of jumps it takes to reach 0 on a number line from the originating number. That's what we're talking about when we talk about absolute value. Okay, so let's go into the examples here. Example 1, negative 12.5 plus negative 4.55. Now again, step 1 says to change subtraction into adding the opposite. Obviously, this is already an addition problem, so that's not something I have to worry about. All right, so now after step 1, that's where you have to pick your branch. You're either looking at a same sign problem or a different sign problem. Obviously, the 12.5 is negative, and the 4.55 is also negative, so we're talking about a same sign problem. They're both negative numbers, so we're going to follow the left branch. Okay. So the next step says to add the numbers, ignoring the signs. So I have to add 12.5 and 4.55. Remember, when we write our problems so that they're now vertical instead of horizontal, you're going to have to fill in a 0 as a placeholder, all right, if you need it. And as you can see in this problem, we do, because there's a blank spot here but a number beneath. So we put a 0 in. And I'm going to write those zeros small so you can tell later on when you're back looking at these notes trying to figure it out for your review guide what I added in later on. That's why I'm writing those small. Okay, so now we can add these up. Adding should be no difficulty for you. So we've got 5 and 0, which is, of course, 5. 5 and 5, which is, of course, 10. When we have 10, we drop the 0 and carry the 1. 2, 4, and 1 make 7. And 1 and a blank spot make 1. Decimals and adding and subtracting problems come straight down, so I've got to drop that decimal straight down, and now we have 17.05. Okay, but that's just step 2. There is a step 3 in a same sign problem. Apply the signs of the problem to the result. Both of the signs in the original problem were negative. So negative has to get applied to the answer. So it's negative 17.05.